Welcome back to Switch to Linux. And today we want to spend a little bit of time talking about why you do not want to rely on big tech companies. Because somehow I got caught up in this, even though I don't use them much anymore. But there was a time. You see, way back when smartphones first hit the market and then became affordable, where I want to say must have been probably like 2010-ish or so. Maybe 2011, I got my first Android phone. And then Google bought Android shortly after, and I went to buy my second Android phone, and Google had their tentacles all over it in a way that I'm like, I ain't doing this. So I took that phone back, and I swapped it for an iPhone. So it was an iPhone 4 probably, I don't know. And I was actually impressed with how well the iPhone worked. Now, around this time, I can't remember if I had that first or did I get the iPad first. I can't remember which one I got first, but I had that. And so, of course, you got to create that Apple account. And so I used one of my throwaway email addresses that even by then it was a throwaway email address because it was that weird address that everyone has dating back to like high school, you know. Back when the internet first existed and one particular company wasn't owned by another big tech company, and I had an email address from there. Well, I still have that account just because I've had it for so long that now that just kind of becomes my default throwaway account or things that I don't want in my regular inbox, which works out well because I don't get a lot of spam in my regular inboxes. All right, so back then I created an Apple account, and that would have been going back about probably 15 years from now. And I had iPhones. The next 3 successive phones I had were iPhones before I switched to Lineage, probably about a decade ago. So I had that one Apple account, and I used that one Apple account to set up, I think, a total of 3 iPhones. I did a 4, a 5C, and an SE. So it would have been 3 iPhones. And I want to say I did 3 iPads as well. I had an iPad 2, I think an iPad 3, and an iPad Air. I think I had all those. So I had those accounts tied in. Now, the last one of those devices that I bought was the iPad Air, which I would have bought somewhere around, I want to say it was 2014, maybe 2015. So we're talking a little over a decade ago. And by that time, I knew I did not want, while I wasn't big into all of the privacy and security stuff, I wasn't big on having these accounts in the system constantly pestering you. And so I would set the account up with that device, download all of the apps I wanted, and then I would remove the Apple ID account from that device. So that would have happened roughly a decade ago. Now, I kept that iPad for about 5 or 6 years. It survived, and right around 2021, the iPad finally died. Okay, haven't had an Apple device since. Obviously, haven't created or signed in with that Apple account since about, I'd say about 10 years ago, maybe somewhere between 5 and 10 years ago, if I happen to have logged in and downloaded some other app that I can't recall if I did or didn't. But the point is that I had that Apple account on there, and it hadn't been touched for a long time. And it sat dormant, and it didn't do anything, and I never heard anything from it until last Sunday. And then last Sunday, I get an email. And now it says, important information about your Apple account password. Dear, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but I have blocked out the name. It actually has my name. It has like my first and last name in the account, and it had my email address, which I've also redacted the email address here. And what's interesting about this here is this account is so old. It has no security questions. It has no MFA. It has no 2FA. It basically just has the password. All right, which, okay, fine, whatever, and it's been floating around. But I get this email, we're unable to reset your password for your Apple account. Lists the correct email address because there were too many unsuccessful attempts to answer your security questions, which, mind you, I do not have security questions on this device, on this account, I should say. To protect the security of your account, you will not be able to reset your password for the next 8 hours. Now, that seems to be a little bunk because I am within one of these windows right this moment, and I was actually able to reset my password. Okay, Interesting to know. If you didn't make the change or you believe an unauthorized person has access to your account, go to iforgot.apple.com, reset your password. So the first thing, of course, I get an email like this. And the first one, I just ignored it because whatever. But the problem is I got one. And then the next day I got another one. And then the next day I got two of them. And then I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. So let's investigate. Is this a phishing email? It's not. It is actually legitimately coming from Apple. Obviously, I did not click any link in here. I went directly to apple.com and I verified all of that and I logged in and I was able to actually log in with the old redacted email address and the old password that has been hanging out in my password manager for over a decade with never being logged in. So I log into that account and it's like, yep, well, you've had too many attempts to reset or answer your security questions. Joke's on them. There are no security questions on this account, which is, I guess, interesting. All right. And so the fact that it says, let's see, you're unable to reset the password. So here's what went through my mind. Because, of course, if you follow the weekly news roundup, particularly where we cover a lot of these things, here's what potentially happened. Maybe somebody was able to just find one of my email addresses, like, I don't know, maybe this Marquise Data breach. This is, of course, Marquise Data Software Solutions is a marketing and compliance software. Well, it actually turns out that one of the banks that I use uses Marquise. Marquise chose to not fix a vulnerability. And this leaked out, and I do believe I did receive a letter about being caught up in this data breach. Now, what information will they have? Well, an old address I haven't been at for over a decade. Okay, a junk email address. Got it. A phone number that's not valid. Perfect. Basically, they got a bunch of junk data. But here is what tends to happen in these types of data breach situations is they will now have a what would be considered a high value email because they pull this out of a banking software, which probably is up to date. And so now, since there's so few accounts people have access to, they might just use this email in some form of automated script to attempt to brute force accounts. And since this is tied to one big tech company, but it's not used for anything else other than that one other big tech company, I think what may have happened, this is one of my hypotheses, is that an email leaked in this breach here, and hackers see this and says, well, let's see if there's an Apple account, and let's enter this thing in and try and brute force their way in. Now, I don't remember what the old password was, and I don't know if it would have been amazingly secure or amazingly unsecure. I have no idea. So, I don't know. We'll see. But the point here is that it's very possible that this account obviously wasn't targeted. It wasn't like some Apple breach. It wasn't some, I typed a password in the wrong spot. It wasn't like I was phished anywhere because I have not touched this Apple account in about a decade. But now I'm caught in Apple support hell. So Apple support hell is a real thing. And of course, what my biggest concern is, and what I was trying to get through to the brick wall known as Apple Care or Apple support is, hey, there seems to be something going on with this account that I have not had connected to anything in a long, long time. Maybe you should have your security to see, is somebody trying to brute force this account? Because, you know, that's a very logical ask. Hey, Apple, I'm noticing some weird, suspicious stuff. Could you maybe have somebody in security look at this to see, hey, and I even gave them the prefix, what my IP address likely starts with. And I said, hey, number one, I said, I have not attempted to access this before last night when I started this nonsense. Okay. And then I told them this IP block. I said, any IP block in the last decade that attempted to access this account is completely fraudulent. Oh no. They're like talking to a moronic brick wall. I mean, I may as well just find something really hard to beat my head against. I would have possibly accomplished a smaller headache than dealing with these morons at Apple support. All right. So I did save all of the transcripts here, and I redacted the personal information. Thanks for contacting us. Give me a moment to look over the information you provided. And I didn't provide information. You literally give them a first name, a last name, and an email address. That's all you give them to chat in there. Okay, explain a little bit. So this is my explanation. I've been receiving emails the last several days, and I quote the email, unable to reset the password for your Apple account because there are too many unsuccessful attempts to answer your security questions. To protect your security of your account, you will not be able to reset your password for the next 8 hours. And I say, I have not been attempting to reset the password, and I have not used this Apple account for probably a decade. This is so old, there are not any security questions on it. I wanted to find out why I'm getting these emails. Is someone actually attempting to reset my password? Other than the last 30 minutes, I have not been the one attempting to reset the password. Of course, Apple with their copy and paste nonsense. I totally understand your concern for the situation. Copy paste nonsense. I totally understand your concern, or thank you for that information. I think I saw that about 700 times. We could have saved electricity if they just stopped doing that stupid response. Because I know it's not genuine. They know it's not genuine. You know it's not genuine. What's the problem? So, totally understand your concern. Thanks so much for explaining this to me and bring this to our attention. I can tell this is important for you. I'd be happy to help. No, the only thing important for me, by the way, as I've clarified this several times, says, hey, delete the account so it stops emailing me. That's literally what I want. Okay, I will ask you a few questions. You will answer. What is it, the book of Job? I will ask you, Job, gird yourself like a man. Okay. I'll ask you a few questions in order to determine what caused the issue or what triggered it. Then we can follow the recommended steps to isolate the situation. In case the situation persists, I can put you in contact with our specialized department. Is that okay for you? So I don't have any other info what I just said, but ask away. Fantastic. Let's start. Are you using an iPhone, iPad, or computer? I mean, we can go back up and be like, hey, where did I say it up here? Yeah, I have not used this Apple account for probably a decade. Okay. So I have not owned an Apple product for 5 years. I have not used this account for about 10 years. Thanks for letting me know that. Can you sign into the affected account? Not really. I can go as far as say the account has too many failed answers on security questions. But as I said, I do not have any security questions because of the age of the account. Got it. Thank you for the information. By any chance, did you provide your account details to an unknown party? No, I have not done anything with this account. When I attempt to log in, I get this message. Too many incorrect verification attempts. You have had too many attempts to answer your security questions. You can try again later. Ah, I see. Do you believe the account was compromised by somebody you know personally? Where's that brick wall? All right. No, it looks to me, I work in privacy security, that someone found the email associated with the account and is trying a dictionary or brute force attacks on it. Thank you so much for confirm that for me. Okay. They work on their AI scripts. When do you start noticing about these emails? First email to 2026 at 2007 EST. No special event. I would pass it up to the security team to see if it's actually someone trying to access the account. It is not for me, except for the 30 minutes before this chat, or if something is triggered it because I do not have security questions. Now, why did I bring this up? Well, what's very interesting is that starting this week, Apple is now introducing age verification for apps in Louisiana, Utah, and Australia. They're basically pushing their age attestation stuff, that kind of stuff that California is trying to get every operating system to do. Well, there's enough jurisdictions right now that Apple's going to be like, yeah, I got to force this stuff out. So this is why I went down this path of reasoning to say, hey, maybe there's something going on in Apple because this account doesn't have security stuff. This account has nothing tied to it except being a 15-year-old account with an email, a password, a first name, and a last name. That is all that is in this account. And, a few apps that have been downloaded, all of which are probably have long since been removed from the App Store. But now that Apple is now starting to verify ages, and by the way, Apple, we're going to talk about this in the weekly news roundup, but Apple's main verification tool for most people is going to be, is there a payment system, like a credit card on file for this account, indicating you're probably over 18. All right, so that really is the case. And I'm wondering, is this weird lockout something happening here because of that, or is somebody maybe trying to fish it out? I don't know. That's why I went down that particular thing. And then I mentioned that age attestation API coming out. It's just a matter to look at on your end, see if somebody's actually attempting to access the account. There are no devices in existence with it. Nowhere it would leak. All the password managers are local only, and the Apple account is the only place I have seen this. Meaning I have not noticed any other accounts tied to this throwaway email address giving me similar things. Okay, so thank you. I really appreciate all the details you provided. Okay, so now he copy and paste crap from the help docs, the ones I've already read. In this case, the signers account has been compromised, and then they give you all this nonsense. And then based on their guide, latest recommendation is to forward the email to report phishing. Our specialized department will check the email and contact you back with a resolution. These are legitimate Apple emails and not phishing emails. I work in this field. I know the difference. Can you just delete the Apple account? I spent more time on this than I needed to. I'm sick of receiving emails from you. If you can't do that, pass this up to the security team to see if someone else is actually attempting to get in this account. Okay, so in this case, in order to permanently delete your account, sign in. I'm talking to a brick wall. So at this point here where this black bar is here, this person apparently raged because they're like, in this case, you need to sign into privacy.apple.com on a browser and select how to delete your account. And I simply reply, I can't log into the account. And this black line here is when the original agent rage quit. They rage quit, and I got jumped down to another person who starts with the same thing. Thanks for contacting Apple support. Please give me a moment to look over the information you have provided. Hello, this is Xander and your Apple support for today. Ready to help. How are you doing today? Well, I feel like Apple is wasting my time. I'm sorry to hear that you're having an issue. I'd be happy to help you with this today. Can you please tell me more about the concern you are having? Apparently, I was just sent to you. I spent the last half hour explaining my issue. Can you not see it? I understand. Allow me a quick minute to review the previous conversation. Thank you for your patience. I was able to review it. So actually, to Xander's credit here, he apparently did stop and reread the chat that was sent down. And he actually looked like I was going to get a resolution here. Okay, so we'll get into what was going to happen here. Thank you for your patience. I was able to review the previous conversation. I understand that you want to speak with a dedicated security team about this. Appreciate your cooperation when it comes to providing the details of that situation. Rest assured, I have documented the details on our end. All right, I said I don't really care if I speak to them or if they can review the account or if someone is actually trying to get it, or is this something to do with that, what's changed on Apple's end? I've just received half a dozen emails in the last 3 days. I would like that to stop. That's my concern. Just stop emailing me, okay? Even my throwaway email, I don't want it to be filled up with a bunch of Apple spam. In this case, I will need to escalate it to a senior advisor via phone support. So great. So basically, I give him my VoIP phone number. We get a call scheduled for the next day, and they called about 3:05 today. And I went to push the button under, to say yes, connect the call, and their phone system does not accept numerical inputs apparently. And they're like, "Oh, we are sorry, we can't reach out to you." Oh, wonderful. Oh, by the way, it does tell me down here, make sure you turn off silence unknown callers. Go into the in the settings in the phone so they can reach you. I have no Apple device. So, of course, after the 3:05 call doesn't happen, the next approach down here is I jump in and create another support one because apparently I am a sadomasochist with a glutton for punishment. All right, so in this one here where I get a little bit saucy, but still try to maintain a degree of decorum, but I do turn on that caps lock here a little bit near the end, but we'll see what's going on here. All right. Thank you for contacting Apple support. Give me a moment to look over the information you provided. Hello, Tom. Hope you're doing well. You are chatting with a live representative. As I understand, you're getting some query regarding security concerns or account compromised. Elaborate your concerns. So basically, they pull that out of the series of checkboxes you have to go through to start the chat. So, okay. I schedule a call, pick the phone, press 1 multiple times. The system will not patch the call through. I would like the account deleted. Oh, I see. Sorry to hear that. That's definitely not the kind of experience we want to have on your device. Please be assured I'm here for you. I'll be asking a few questions. Based on that, we'll be proceeding further. Can you please help me with your phone number and time zone so I can schedule a call back for you? No, I would like the Apple account to be deleted, and I appear locked out because it appears someone may be attempting to brute force their way in. Oh, I see. Thank you for letting me know. Allow me a moment while I check the details. I have not used the account in over a decade. I'm sick of receiving emails every few hours for account security. And then I gave them the case number for the first chat. So hopefully they can just look that up. All right. Thank you for the information. I'm checking on the chat history. Do you have any device in which you have logged in the same ID right now? Something hard, quick, something hard. No, I've not had a device with that account for 5 years, and I removed the account for that device about 5 years prior to that. Oh, I see. Thanks for letting me know. I'd request you go back to iforgot.apple.com/unlock to submit a request to unlock your account. Let me know if you're able to submit the request. I've already done this. I land on a page to change the password or security questions. I have no security questions on the account as it's about 15 years old and not used for a decade. I received this message. Cannot reset security questions. We don't have sufficient information to reset your security questions. Okay. Please stay connected while I'm working on it. Thank you for your patience. I would like to inform you that as you have tried to reset the security questions and you're not able to set the security questions in this case, I'd like to inform you, you can create a new Apple account and use it. That's it, guys. Just throw away the old one, proceed ad infinitum to continue to receive lockout notifications multiple times a day, and just proceed with a brand new Apple account that I've already stated, I don't want an Apple account at all. Oh, these people are retarded. God. All right. Also, without your account credentials, no one can open or use your account. Why? Okay, get me back in. Okay, I have zero interest in an Apple account. I would like this Apple account deleted so I stop receiving security emails every few hours. Thanks for contacting. Oh, that was, by the way, right after there. After I say I have zero interest, I would like this Apple account to be deleted so I stop receiving emails. That agent rage quit as well. We are now on to our fourth Apple support agent in as little as 20 hours. All right. Thanks for contacting Apple support. Give me a moment to look over the information you have provided. A pleasant day to you, and thank you for contacting Apple support. Looks like you need help regarding an Apple account. Do you mind telling me more about it? Please read the prior chat for details. Sure, one moment, please. And the guy apparently went away for a while, so Apple sends an automated, we haven't heard from you in a while. Please keep your chat session live. Respond to your Apple advisor. Let us know you're still there. Yes, I'm still here. Got it. Thank you for patiently waiting. Really appreciate it. Just to confirm, you wanted to delete the Apple account so you no longer be able to receive any security emails from the Apple account since you mentioned it's already compromised. Did I get this right? So I tell them, essentially, yes. I do not know for sure it's compromised, but it looks like someone's trying to brute force into it since I receive constant lockout emails, though I am not attempting to get in except for the last 24 hours to attempt to resolve this myself. This is why I would like your security team to look into this to see if indeed someone is trying to get in. My IP address starts with, and I tell them what my IP address is starting with, and any other IP address would be an attacker your security team might want to look into. Thanks for letting me know your concern. I'll be happy to look into this and provide you with necessary information to help you sort this out. Just to set proper expectations here in Apple, we don't have any options to access or modify any information in your Apple account due to privacy and security reasons. That's actually a good thing. You know, it's good if the support people can't get in there and do that. That's fine. Okay. So guide you to how to get in and delete your account. Based on prior interactions with other advisors, you no longer have access to the account. I said, well, I can't log into the account at the moment, so I can't follow the help guide on that. I just keep receiving these emails, and I just put in the same email we've already looked at. I have the password, and I can get a reset code in email, but once I get there with the code from email, I still cannot access the account. Thanks for the information. I appreciate it. Okay, so if we can just delete the account, that's fine. If we can save it and keep access, I'm fine with that. But I cannot have an account that I can't access and keeps emailing me. All right. So I do understand that. You wanted to delete the Apple account. To kindly explain here at support, we don't have any ability to access, so copying and pasting it. Since you mentioned you're able to receive a code to access your account, you are still unable to access it. Give me a moment to see what I can do. Basically, I'm saying just get me back in the account. I can't get into it. Thank you for patiently waiting. Of course, may have a screenshot of the reset email. So I send them a screenshot of both the email I'm getting and I send them a screenshot of what I'm seeing when I'm attempting to log in, which is not saved in the chat history, which is fine. Thanks for screenshot. Thanks for the other screenshot. So I did just get a full password reset. I still cannot access anything. So I did successfully reset the password. Even though I'm still in that 8-hour lockout period, I can still somehow reset the password. This is what makes me think it's this going on. Something changed in Apple's attestation this week. That's what I think is going on. All right. Still get the result of the second screenshot. So just confirm you still remember your Apple account password. If yes, you can please try to sign in. Hard stuff. Okay. All right. Yes, I have it all. I just did. I still get the second screenshot. Thanks for trying. I appreciate it. Do you still have access to any device where this account Apple is signed in? My God, I've answered this a dozen times. Are you reading the chats? No, I do not have any Apple devices. I have not for 5 years. I have not used the account for 10 years. Delete the thing. Where do I send my bill for wasting my time? Hopefully you guys can help send me some maybe tip support or something in the video. Help pay for my time dealing with these numbskulls. I don't know. There you go. Understand. Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm just trying to isolate the issue. I'm sorry if you feel that way. I'm just trying to help with the best of my abilities. I'm sorry you feel that way. Just trying to help you with the best of my abilities. So he actually hit that copy paste button twice. I said, do you have any Apple devices you can borrow? Since you do remember your Apple account password, you can try and access your Apple account. You just need to skip security questions. Okay. Mind you, I cannot access my Apple account, log in on a computer browser. Do you think I'm going to be able to access that application? Sure, log right on into this strange Apple device. Okay, they is test that would work. I'm not sure about that, but regardless, I don't have a Apple device I can test this with. I don't know. Maybe I could try like spinning up a Windows VM and download iTunes or try that. Maybe I could do that. I don't know if that would work or not. I don't know. All right. You know, if I can't access the account here, I will get the same response on an Apple device. No, I do not have any devices I can borrow to attempt to log in. I said, this is very simple from my perspective, which is the source of my frustration. Please have someone at account security look at the attempts to log in. I have only myself tried to get in the last 12 or so hours to fix this. I need to be able to access, unlock, etc. the account with an email verification. I think security would like to see this because if someone is trying to brute force the account, they can address it. So do you see what's the underlying problem I have here? Is I am alerting them that it's very possible there are hackers trying to mass brute force accounts on their server. And I have these retards in Apple support who apparently are not escalating anything up to security. So Apple, this is a serious fundamental flaw in Apple that if I say, hey, I think something's going on and they have no other, like first, well, just ignore that and create a new Apple account. Okay, dummy. That's not what I'm asking for. But you'd think, hey, I work in this field. This is what it looks like. You might want to pass this over to security because I bet security can look at the login attempts at this and go, yeah, maybe a bunch of Tor nodes trying to access this Apple account's probably fraudulent, you know? I don't know. I don't know if they're Tor nodes or, some other guy camping out on the mountaintop with me here. I don't know. There's 4 guys down that way. They might be hackers. I don't know. I'm not too far from Vegas, All right. Let's see. Mike. Anyway, I do say down here, let's see, understand they wanted to access, can kindly explain the best way to regain access since you still remember is to try and access your account on any Apple device and change the security settings to 2-factor authentication. So what, I'll be locked into my borrowed friend's device, I guess? I don't know. My account has too many incorrect verification attempts to get in. That is the problem. Logging into a device will not fix that. I need to clear that with an email code. To be very clear, I am not the one trying to verify the account. This is why I need to talk to somebody in security or have security look into it. I see. In this case, you need to wait for the cooldown time and try again. So I can see where you are requesting a senior advisor. Okay, sure. I guess we'll have to do that. And then it just kind of goes in. Let's see. What does he say there? Basically, I say, I don't think a senior advisor is going to solve this. He's like, may I have your phone number and time zone, please? So I'm like, yeah, I tried that before. System is not accepting my press of number 1 to connect the call. So they actually give me their phone number. So I can give them a call on the phone number. All right. So from here, I gave them a call on the phone number and I got a Indian gentleman on the support there. And I'm not sure if he was also driving a truck with a illegal immigrant CDL through the country either as well. I'm not sure, but he was a very helpful gentleman. And so he basically looks everything over and spends a whole lot of time. And after another hour on the phone, wasting yet another hour of my time, help maybe provide a tip down here for that nonsense time I just wasted. But hey, we got content out of it. His final solution is wait for the cooldown period and try and log in again. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and start with a couple observations here. The first major observation I want to make is if I actually had real information on this Apple account, if my contacts, if my calendars, if my files were tied to this account, I'd be freaking out. Now, I don't roll this way with anything in my life. I have nothing in my life that relies on some big tech company to do anything like that. And so I'm not freaking out. To me, this is an annoying waste of time, but a really funny video idea. And I hope that you'll like the fun video idea. But the point is that effectively, if I get locked out of an account because some hacker is trying to brute force a way into an account and locks it out, Apple can provide for me no other means to get in than to wait until the cooldown period's over. Now, maybe that's because of the alleged security questions, which, as I said, there are not even security questions on this account. I even dug way back into my old spreadsheets when I used to do passwords on spreadsheets. I didn't even have this account over there. I have this in my password manager, and there are no security questions in the account that I know of. Now, I might have an idea about what some of the questions could be in the event there are some, but I have no record of there being security questions on this 15-year-old account, and I have a sneaky suspicion it's so old I never set them up to begin with, and since I haven't even logged into the account in the last 10 years, I don't think they were ever mandated at that time either. But the point being is that if every bit of my life were tied to this Apple account, I'd be frustrated. I'd be extraordinarily stressed out over this. But the fact of the matter is I'm not. This is a cautionary tale for everybody. Now, maybe we wouldn't be in the case if you had a 2FA or some other means of verifying or authenticating your account. I know they fully support passkeys as well. I don't know if I get back into this guy, I'll FIDO it or passkey it. Maybe I'll do something like that. But the thing that I wanted to stress here is that, number one, if your whole life is tied to one of these accounts, you are really placing yourself in a bad position. Number two, dealing with any big tech company is not only a colossal waste of time, but you are dealing with a round of idiots that maybe we get some solid resolution here at the end. But if their best guess after 2, maybe 3 hours of wasting my time on this nonsense is wait until the cooldown period and hope that the hacker doesn't have a script that's doing it every 8 hours. So I don't know. I will have to leave you a comment in this video if I'm able to re-access the account or if I'm perpetually locked out, because I got about 15 minutes from now before I have to try and log in again before the cooldown period's over, based on the receipt of the last email. So I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? Here is my take-home message for everybody. Get your required life out of these accounts. Do not get to the point where, look at that one support person. Well, just get rid of the account and start a new one. You know, that would not be easy to do if every one of my photos is in that old account, if all my contacts are in that old account, if all my calendars are on that old account, and if I have, based on our discussions from the last time I did an Apple video, if my device has Find My Device enabled, and most of them do by default now, tied to that account, I can't even use that piece of hardware if I'm locked out of this account. Very interesting. Do not rely on big tech accounts. Take a cautionary tale. And for me, this is just a funny, amusing, and somewhat annoying story based on an account that's 10, 15 years old that I haven't used in a decade. Don't let this happen to you on an account that you are dependent on. Get out of big tech. Switch to Linux, switch to Nextcloud, or at the very least, just do solid manual backups of everything on a very frequent basis so you do not lose critical files. Let me know your thoughts about all that in the comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this fun little Apple crap show. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.